Hello everyone, and welcome to Orange University. On tonight's episode, I'm going to play a Golgari Grave deck again. So this is very reminiscent of the Grave Beans deck that we had prior to the banning back in June. But being Up the Beanstalk, the best card of this deck, let's look at Up the Beanstalk. Now the best card for this deck has been banned. No longer legal. That means whenever we cast a 5 CMC or higher creature spell, we cannot draw a card. Well, it doesn't have to be a creature spell, but in this deck, it was full of these creatures that we get to cast for cheap if we have lots of creatures in our graveyard. We no longer can do that. We can still play these creatures, but we cannot draw an extra card. So how do we combat that? How do we make this deck still competitive? Well, there's a few things we can do. Dredger's Inside and Overlord of Balemurk definitely both keep our graveyard filled while giving us enough cards to cast. Both can return creatures so that we can return our Hollow Marauders, Huskburster Swarms, and all that kind of stuff. Hollow Marauder obviously is a good card because if our opponent does not discard a 4 CMC or greater creature or a greater card, we will be able to draw a card from it dropping onto the board. So that's definitely good. But I have a hidden tech in Garruk's Uprising. A enchantment, when it enters, we get to draw a card if we control a creature with power 4 or greater. Now that by itself is kind of like the Up the Beanstalk trigger. When it enters, we draw a card. It's 3 mana, so not as good as Beanstalk, obviously. But the best thing about it is creatures we control have trample, and whenever a creature you control with power 4 or greater enters, we also draw a card. So that means, well, the cards we're going to cheat in, all of these have powers 4 or greater, which would mean that we get to draw a card every time they drop. So that's the idea of Garruk's Uprising, but it's not as good as Beanstalk, so we only hold 2 off, but there is sort of the advantage of trampling, right? So we have our big creatures. Giving them trample really does mean that we can go over the top on a lot of wide boards and still be able to get our damage through with our big beastic, like the Buster, like the Huskburster Swarm, the Diamond Weapon, also an 8/8 creature, which is pretty fun to get through, and we want to throw creatures into the graveyard. We need a lot of small creatures. So we got Llanowar Elves, and my sort of test of this deck, the Gene Pollinator. So traditionally we would run the other card. What is that creature called? Mold Tender. Traditionally we run Mold Tender, which can mill us a card, fill up the graveyard, or we can exile a card from our graveyard to add a mana of any color. Now, exiling definitely isn't good for this deck because we want our graveyard to have creatures, but the milling a card probably would help this deck, or so I would hope. However, I think Gene Pollinator does a pretty good trick in representing a Birds of Paradise, right? It's a 1 mana 1/2. So it's a little bit bigger than a bird. It doesn't fly, and it doesn't tap to add mana of any color unless we tap another untapped permanent we control. So in a lot of decks, that's not a good thing because, well, we don't have untapped permanents. We can just tap for free. Usually those permanents we want to use as a creature, so attack or block, or we want to use as, lands, so already giving us mana. But with this deck, we got nowhere to run. We got Garruk's Uprising, we got Dredger's Insight, and we got Overlord of Balemurk, all of which are the permanents that we don't really use untapped, so they can be used to tap to add mana with the Gene Pollinator. And since we have so many of these on the 2-drop, we're going to get them out pretty quickly, and that's going to give us the mana. So turn 1, we can just play Llanowar Elf, and we can turn 2 play Gene Pollinator, or turn 2 play one of these, and turn 3 use Gene Pollinator on its ability. If we use turn 2's Llanowar Elf to add the green mana to play Gene Pollinator, right? Or we can turn 1 Gene Pollinator, turn 2 play one of these 2-drops, and use the Gene Pollinator and one of those 2-drops to tap to add green for Llanowar Elf. It's kind of the tricks that we can kind of play around in. At least that's the idea. And then we have 2 copy of the 1-drop Insidious Fungus, which could be useful in several scenarios. We can use it to destroy artifacts like Cauldron. We can use it to destroy enchantments like Rest in Peace. Or if we're not playing any of those, we can try to ramp ours for 2 mana and draw a card and put a land into play. So all those are part of the idea. So let's talk about the whole deck list. Right? Turn 1, we got 4 Gene Pollinator, 4 Llanowar Elf, and 2 Insidious Fungus. Turn 2, we got 4 Nowhere to Run, 4 Dredger's Insight, or 4 Overlord of Balemurk to kind of have an on-tempo play. But we can also hold up a Bitter Triumph, just in case our opponent is aggroing us, and we can use Bitter Triumph as a removal. And then turn 3, we got Garruk's Uprising, and if we're lucky, we can play any of these cards by just milling a bunch into the graveyard. We got 2 Chitin Gravestalkers. I don't think that's too good of a card, but we're kind of running out of creatures to cheat in. So it's a 6 mana 5/4 that could go as low as 1 mana. It costs 1 less for each artifact or creature in our graveyard, and we can always cycle them for 2 mana. We got the most important card for Hollow Marauder, a 7 mana 4/2 flyer, but it could be a 1 mana 4/2 flyer for 1 less for each creature in our graveyard. And whenever he comes into play, each opponent, or any number target opponent, must discard a card. And those who did not discard a card with mana value 4 or greater allows us to draw a card. Very good both sides of this deck. Discard, card draw, and then we have the Huskburster Swarm. The sort of the initial concept of the deck is just this, right? A 7 mana or 8 mana 6/6 Menace Death Touch and come in for just 1 mana, and it costs 1 less for each creature card we own in both exile and graveyard. So even if we get Rest in Peace, Huskburster can still be reduced. And then we have 2 diamond weapons, which cost 1 less mana for each permanent in our graveyard. It's a 9 mana 8/8, but it could cost 7 less, so it's a 2 mana 8/8. And it's got reach, so it can block, the slick shots and things. And the craziest thing is we can prevent all damage, all combat damage that will be dealt to the diamond weapon. Not deals, but dealt, which means that he can deal damage, but no damage can be dealt to it, which is fun. It's very fun against a lot of decks out there. And then finally, we got our land base. We're going to run 20 lands only because we got 8 mana dorks. So we have, well, let's talk about the basic lands. 1 swamp, 5 forest. And then we have 1 Evendo, just 1. It's cool. It's cool to crew it or station it because we can have these very big beast sticks that can station the Evendo. But at the end of the day, it just taps that mana, and this deck is not lacking mana since we got a lot of reduction. More importantly, we got 1 Susur, Secundi, Vault Altar, which it's a black mana that we can crew for 12, and then we can pay 2 and pay 2 life, tap it, sack a creature, draw a card equals to the sack creature's power. We got big powers in this deck, and that means we can draw a lot of cards if we need to. We got 4 Blooming Marsh, 4 Underground Mortuary, and 4 Wasteful Verge as our dual color lands for Golgari, and that's pretty much it. Let's go into the games. Alright, our opponent is the Falconarusa. We get a go first, and a pretty sad looking hand, if I gotta say so myself, but going first I'm gonna keep and hope that I mill into better stuff. No removal too. There's only 8 removals in the deck. That's asking for too much, honestly. Llanowar Elves, I can go. It's okay to mill it because I think I'm gonna play the Overlord next turn anyways. And if I'm going to play the Overlord, I'm going to mill the Llanowar Elf. Or I'm going to mill some cards and bring back the Llanowar Elf. If nothing else. Esper Origin. Alright, so we're both throwing things into the graveyard and hope something sticks. But his sticking is probably better than my sticking. Because I'm not sticking anything in it right now. Oh, I get Lance. Let's play a Llanowar Elf. I have 2 creatures in a graveyard. Is that not enough creatures? They have a Llanowar Elf. And they say go. Okay. That's the case. Do we Dredgers inside or do we Overlord here? And I get to return probably the Marauder? Is it better to return the Marauder? I think so. Alright. So then what? Then I play Dredger's Inside? No. Then I play my other Llanowar Elf. And I play the Fungus. I'm a fun guy. Alright, I have less creatures in the graveyard now. 1, 2. They're gonna get their Esper Origins out of their graveyard. I know so many lands and no creatures whatsoever. Oh, they're gonna sneak attack me. And that feels like a feels bad moment. I can pop this so he doesn't get the mana. Gotta do that. Then we'll Dredger's inside. I hope I mill so many creatures. No one. I mean, do I even want this land back? I could play the Stalker. I cannot play the Stalker because this is green. Alright, he gets his sneak attack in. He gets his second Esper Origin. He's gonna get the stuff anyways. Oh, he gets the Railway Brawler. Cycle. Overlord. I mean, I can make him discard 2 cards. If I Overlord here, I might be able to make him discard. Probably still 2, right? I'm gonna break that anyways. Now my Marauder costs 1. Target you. Discard a card, please. I draw a card. Ah, that's not bad. I shall target you again. Ooh. That's a cool card for him to discard. Do I want to play the Overlord? Let's get this guy out there. We get an Overlord anyways, and then we can play another Overlord next turn. Really fill our graveyard. He plots. Very nice. I'm gonna do this. And I'll bring back Marauder. Gain a little bit of life. You take the damage. It's down to 7. I still think I probably will die to like a combo kill. Discard a card. Okay. Diamond. And how many cards do I have left? Not that many. Overlord the Balemurk again. And I will return probably the Insidious Fungus. Could be useful. Gene Pollinator. Alright, I have a reach blocker that would prevent all combat damage to it. It's something. If he gets 6 mana, he can really come over here. Look at this board, man. Oh, if only I got to go first. Did I get to go first? He's brawling me. The brawl is here. What's he gonna play in? Will he deal 25 mana? Alright, he might. 2020 Trample. Pretty scary. Yeah, I don't know. It's a 2020 Trample. All that is not going to be enough. That's a GG, I would say. I might be able to... No, I don't think so. Yeah, I never got my removal for the Llanowar Elves. Oh, it didn't trample over because I prevented all damage. GG, I thought it would trample over. I just honestly don't know how it works. If it's indestructible, it would trample over. But hey, we want that one. Alright, our opponent is Malorn. Malorn. He is Mal, and he's gonna Lorn us. We get a go first, that's pretty nice. Llanowar Elf will be a bit tricky, but go first is go first. We can also Dredger's inside this turn. Mortuary? Only from amongst the mill cards. We're gonna put one of these back, so is it the Overlord? Is it the Overlord? Like, that was a question. What the heck? Alright, let's put this out. I don't think it matters which one I put out. I need the black mana. How many do I have right now? 2? Gee, no. Yeah, 2. It's a good number of cards milled. Alright, so now we... Do I have a 1 mana black card? I don't. I have 1 mana green, right? So this Overlord probably gets nowhere to run. Or no, no more lies. It didn't? Oh wow, okay. So let's get us a Pollinator. Do I want to give me a Pollinator? No, I think I want the Marauder. Should have milled first. We should have surveilled first. Actually, should I have? Because if I had surveilled, right, then if I wanted that card, I wouldn't be able to get it. There's a fungus. I don't think I need it. Untap. Station my fungus. I might mill out, to be honest here. If it's a mill deck, I might mill out. He's gonna stock up. Yeah, he's probably feel pretty safe to stock up there. Now he's got to discard. I don't need that swarm. This will make my Marauder cost less. Discard a card, please. Ooh. Do I want this out? No, I don't think so. He could have no more. I mean, he could have Rest in Peace, and this is dead. But right now, I can get this out and then crew this. Well, definitely crewing this. Definitely attacking. The question is, am I playing this, right? I guess I won't. If he wants to Day of Judgment here, I can hold back. If he rests in peace while I have all these stuff on board, he's just going to keep taking damage. You can also break his Rest in Peace with the fungus. It's not great, but it keeps the graveyard synergy going. He stocks up again. Alright, well he's not respecting the deck at all. Because I only attack him for 1. He's looking at the fungus. He's got 1 mana. Can he target a fungus for 1 mana? I don't think so. I don't think there's any cards. But there's a stick. There must be something. Seam Rip. Alright, what are you targeting? My Llanowar Elf. I want to draw a card. I don't really care about the Llanowar Elf. You can have it. Alright, make sure you don't get any card draws out of any of these, right? Station this guy, and I will station the Marauder as well. Why is this tapped? Why is the only land I need tapped? Oh my god, that was... Thanks, Auto Tapper. Oh man, I'm salty. Right? It tapped the one land that I needed for some reason. Auto tapper is so bad. Alright, he's ultimating my 2 creatures. Exile all spells and ability, destroy all creatures. So he's going to destroy these 2 creatures. I can't really sacrifice them, so they're just gone. This is not very nice, huh? Activate only as a sorcery. I can't even activate the Overlord. Activate to save the Overlord. Elspeth Storm.
I will turn the tide of battle.
I'll fade alive.
Even in this dark, join the fight.
I don't need this, and I don't need this. Gene Pollinator. Is it power? Alright, I get to draw a card. That seems fun. Let me station it first. I get to draw a card. Oh look, Garruk Uprising. Well, not playing that right now. I don't have a creature, but he has tapped out, so we'll give my Overlord trample. But his hand's probably full of get lost, right? The Overlord is not long for this world. I really hope I can keep cycling through creatures here, but so far it's been a series of middling draws. And lands. Don't forget about lands. Ooh, okay. I mean, you can just counter this. But it's not like I can not play it. So here's the Marauder. He feels nothing on the inside. Happy Halloween. I draw a card and you discard. Now this is the fun part. Oh boy. This is the real fun part. Would he have a counter spell? I'll do it again. No more lies. Let's get the Buster on. Draw another card. No, 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 no. I want a station. Let me sack this guy and draw 6 cards, please. Those are some cards. Alright, let's play a Wastewood Verge. Do I want to slam my Overlord to Balemurk? No, I think I'd play Dredger's Inside. There you go. Hollow Marauder, please. He does have 1 card, right? I gotta discard 2 cards. I don't think I need this Llanowar Elves. So he can wipe my board. I don't really care too much about that. I'll bring it back. This is the perfect anti-control series of stuff. That being said, though, I could give Farewell here. And make your own Farewell, the Day of Judgment plus Rest in Peace. Still get the Buster out, even if he does that. And I still have the Hollow Marauder. Not that it matters. It is Day of Judgment. And he quits! Oh, we got rid of all his cards. Nice control deck. Ha! Not mighty no more. Alright, our opponent is the Monster Moose. Yo, I thought you were a bat. The opponent goes first. Got 2 Insidious Fungus, which is not great, but it's workable. Alright, it's workable. I'll work it. What does it do? Put it onto the battlefield tapped. I don't want to put it on the battlefield tapped. Dragon spells cost 1 less. I'm a little bit afraid of that, so I don't want his dragon spells to cost 1 less. In fact, I don't want to see any of his dragon spells. Go away. Possibility Technician. Did he warp this? What did he do? I'm not sure what he did. For as long as you play if you control a Kavu. Okay, only if he controls a Kavu. Which means now I have to play something. I can also sack the fungus. That's too many lands. More fungus. I'm a fun guy. Should have put the Evendo in, I think. Whoops! Alright, the Screamo Nemo is here. Not gonna block that. Definitely know where to run that guy. Alright, do we have a Overlord here? I don't think so. I want the Overlord to actually attack, right? So, I don't think I played the Evendo and I can just do this. I have a fun guy. Technician is back out. You can cast Zookeeper and a land. Alright. Sure. Let me draw a card. And I will like the Evendo. I got 2, so this costs 5. I don't want to pay 5 for this, so let's Overlord and see what we will hit. Do I want the fungus or do I want Llanowar Elf? Probably the Llanowar Elf. Probably the fungus. Does he have enchantments that I want to hit? Well, either way, I don't need that many Llanowar Elves. Let's be honest here, right? Ooh. Alright, I can almost get the excess mana for some reason. Not really that useful here, honestly. I don't need green mana in this deck, so yeah, I don't really need to do anything here. Sure. This is whenever it enters, right? Oh, Terror Peaks. Oh boy. This just got serious. So I could attack for 5. Just do a little bit of milling, see what I can get. Yikes. That's not great. I do get a diamond weapon. I don't think he's gonna block, right? He didn't block, which is good for me, but I don't know what to do next. I guess I can play a land. It's not tapping my Evendo, right? Here is the Marauder. I target Yi. Oh, it discarded a card that allows me to play a card. Then I will station the Marauder. Also station the Fungus. Because I'm a fun guy. Play that, and I can tap to add 5. I don't think it matters, because this only costs 2. See, that's why I don't need that mana for anything. But I'm gonna sack it. Like, destroy artifact. Is there artifacts here? There's only artifacts on my side. Alright, I'm not doing that. I draw a card. It's another Marauder. I mean, at least I'm chaining something. Discard another card. Can I draw a Bitter Reunion? Bitter Triumph. Don't draw me a Bitter Reunion, please. Oh boy. What? That's what's up. That's what's up. That was a series of draws. That was an incredibly unfair series of draws. Oh my gosh. But that's what this deck does, right? It does spin its wheel. I'm at 8. So not that many life. I didn't get any of my Dredger's insight. But first lining on a Marauder. Oh, that's not smart. You don't want a first lining a Marauder. Yeah, you don't want a first lining a Marauder. Let me tell you why. So these two attacks. Do I want this 8 to attack? He could just chump, right? +4, +0. I don't think I care about that. Yeah, killing my Marauder just brings it back out. There's a chump. Are you taking a 5? He is taking a 5. It's down to 3. You please, discard a card. And let me draw a card from you. That's an interesting possibility technician deck. I gotta give our opponent props. For innovation. They still gotta discard a card. Oh, it's a big dragon. Creatures you control gain double strike. Okay. So I guess I don't draw a card. Thanks a lot. Third technician. No, he just warps it. Whenever this creature or another combo you control enter. Right, so he's getting some Dragon Chomp. It's not too bad. So yeah, GG. That was a game that we had. GG. Alright, our opponent is the Hablaz. No hablas español. Alright, opponent goes first. That's too bad. Man, this will be such a good go first hand. Oh my god. Look at the cards that I have. The shadowy backstreet is kind of scary. That's 4 Llanowar Elves. Okay. Voice of Victory. That means I can't kill his stuff. Wait, I can even play this out. Sephiroth time? Probably Sephiroth time. I don't have anything to kill his graveyard. Tragic Trajectory, alright. Sage. Not blocking those. Dredger's Insight? No. Overlord. I can hardcast an Overlord. Why wouldn't I? I can bring the Insidious Fungus back. This is as a blocker, or I can get the Huskburster, right? I have 1 mana left. I think I'd get the Fungus. Get the Fungus. I'm a fun guy. Zealot. It's gonna sack the Sage. No, not sacking the Sage. Which means we gotta get rid of that Zealot. He sacks the Sage. For a Scry. What else is he sacking? He's not sacking a Voice, is he? Yo! Why would you sack the Voice? Does he have some reanimation? hopes he's sacking his whole board and then quitting. That works for me. No habla inglés. Alright, our opponent is the Lucien de Verix. I'm sorry, I don't speak French. We go first. Finally, the Pollinator. I don't think it'll do the thing I wanted to do, but I do have a Pollinator, which is fun. I'm still Llanowar Elfing turn 1, I think. If I Pollinator turn 1, they're less likely to kill it. Then I can Overlord. Yeah. They're less likely to kill the Pollinator, right? I think. He's looking at the Gene Pollinator thinking, what? Uh-oh. Please don't kill my he's gonna kill my Pollinator, you jerk. That's fine. Then I Overlord to bring it back. Except I won't, because I got a Marauder. Pollinator's so good though. It looks red with shock. Wouldn't Diamond Weapon just stop everything? Yes, it would. But let's see. Right now, this costs 2 less. So that means instead of 7, it costs 5. I'm not gonna have 5 mana next turn, so maybe it is the Pollinator. That's kind of tricky. I do get to have this out 5/4 soon. No, I think I take the Pollinator. Fills out my curve next turn for 2 green mana. They're white. They're Boros. They're Ember Challenger. It went from interesting to same old, same old. I don't need that. Play the Pollinator. We'll play the Llanowar Elves. Gonna burn our stuff. Yeah. Nothing really changed. I need my nowhere to run fast, but knowing me, I probably won't draw it. Slick Shot Show Off. It's even got that going. If I double block, it would just kill everything I have. Which is what I wanted to do. Exactly what I wanted him to do. Alright, so you can start with the Marauder. No way for me to get a creature into the graveyard, right? So I'm going to start with the Marauder. Discard a card. I could draw something good here. Otherwise, I just play the Gravestalker. Yeah, it's good, but not great. So let's play this. Gravestalker. Now I got blockers in the air and blockers on the ground. And he didn't get too far with that damage. Second show off. Very annoying. And a burst lightning, even more annoying. Alright, well I'm taking 6 this turn. But I will take out his last card, which is pretty important. Discard your last card for me. Screaming Nemesis. Alright. We got somewhere. Don't think I can attack with the Gravestalker. No, I need him to attack back. I need to crack back, and Overlord's cracking in one more turn. There's the Screamo Nemo. Is everybody coming in? Not the Challenger. Not the show-offs either. Alright, we got the Dredger's Insight. That's important. So, every time we bring a creature back, gain a little bit of life. And then, this will force him to discard a card he doesn't have. another Overlord. Then I attack for 5. And I play my Overlord. Because the first Overlord will pop out. I can bring out the Marauder, probably, or the Diamond Weapon. Get the Diamond Weapon. The Overlord is here. And GG. Oh yeah. Take that, you Boros. We stomped their butts. Welcome back, everyone. Now that you see all those grave-filled games, how did this deck feel? Like I was talking about before, this deck is not lacking in draws. This deck is, without the Beanstalk, we can still get a lot of things into our graveyard. And if we need to draw cards, we can get a lot of cards in our hand. And it's a very strong deck in being able to do that. I don't think there's any issue with all the cards in the main deck or in the main board here, right? The Garruk's Uprising, obviously a little bit lackluster, which I did expect to be lackluster because of, you know, its comparison to Beanstalk. But it's not a bad card. We just didn't really draw into it enough in the games that we played today. So I think it's fine. The Insidious Fungus is great. It helped us ramp. It helped us destroy things that we needed to. I don't mind it at all. The Gene Pollinator didn't perform as well as I thought it would initially, but that's really because I didn't really get Gene Pollinator in the early games, most games. I got a lot of Llanowar Elf most games, and most Llanowar Elves is just fine. I'm happy turn 1 Llanowar Elfing. And the thought of changing the Gene Pollinator to the I forgot what it's called. I think it's Voltender? Moltender, there you go. To change it to a Moltender, it's not too bad of an idea either way. Right? You can run a Moltender, you can run a Gene Pollinator. Both are acceptable cards. One of the very annoying thing with mill is a lot of times when we mill 4 cards, we mill the important cards that we don't want to mill. Like when I milled Dredger's or mill with Dredger's Insight or Overlord, and I milled the Garruk, and I feel kind of bad. Or I milled an Overlord to run, which I really needed as a removal at that moment. I feel kind of bad. Without the Beanstalk, we have to draw those rather than milling them. So that's kind of the issue, which we cannot fix because Beanstalk's bad. And one of the bigger things that I really liked was Dredger's Insight gaining us life whenever a creature returns from the graveyard. And that's pretty important, right? I want my creature to return from the graveyard. So that is a thing that, you know, I really wanted to highlight. That's the life gain. Now, the Diamond Weapon is, that was insane. The Diamond Weapon actually save us from one of the trampling attacks. I didn't know that was a interaction, because if Diamond Weapon just says indestructible, then it would trample through and kill us. But because Diamond Weapon says prevent all combat damage, apparently it prevented all of them, all the combat damage on that one creature, so there was no damage to trample through. Or at least I don't think our opponent assigned that damage, so I don't know how that worked. But we didn't take the hit, and we won that game. And lastly, we got the Susur versus Evendo. Here's my thoughts about it, though. I don't like Evendo at all in this deck. I'm not flooding the board with creatures that often, and when I do, I probably already won. If I get to crew with these creatures onto Evendo, I probably already have a pretty commanding hold on the board. Much rather, I would have 2 Sunskirts. It's not even a legendary land, so having multiple is good because I can use this to sacrifice these big creatures and draw a bunch of cards. So I want 2 Sunskirts, or maybe even 3 to go crazy a bit, right? I want these in the deck to help us draw cards, and I can then draw a lot of cards with this. I don't know if I want more Diamond Weapons and cut the Chitins. That's neither here nor there, but I think that's definitely a consideration that we can make. And overall, I do think this is a deck that's still relevant, still very fun and very strong to play. And that's all I got for you today. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time.